Welcome to Frontlines. I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm here with Tank.
Just Tank.
Just Tank.
I have this vision, right, of when everything comes through, and there's this group of Marines that show up at my house. And they're like, "Are you the one they call the Tank?" And I say, "No, just Tank."
Not the Tank. Just Tank.
Not the Tank. Just Tank.
Just Tank. Well, I have a question that's been, or a question that says, does Tank know that the most recent video RE Minions didn't post? Error, someone flagged it. Anyway, so I don't know what that actually means, but
that is with on the front lines.
Well, I don't have anything called Minions, but maybe he's talking about something. This is the most recent video didn't post. Error, someone flagged it. Continue to say that it was blocked by Merlin's Beggars on copyright grounds. FYI.
Merlin's Beggars. Yeah. Them again, our arch nemesis.
Yeah,
they're always trying to stop us.
Well, I don't know. I thought that all of the videos had posted. I'll just take a gander at what is there.
Merlin's Beggars. Yeah, that's a pretty easy way to get somebody taken off of YouTube. If you think about it, you just keep citing copyright violations.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to have any. Well, the one from yesterday is posted, so I have it on mine, so I don't know what they're referring to. At least I see it, let's put it that way. Oh, it looks I'm off by one number. I got to change our number. This is number 174.
174, lucky 174. This is where the magic happens, people. There is a time when Dan said that we would be doing this at episode number something like this, and I yelled at him, and now here we are.
I'm sorry, manifestations happen that way, and I'm just so... I should have just said 10 days.
I respect your manifestation swagger. What I would like for you to do in the future is to please align your manifestation with what is best for all of us. Okay?
I always do.
No. What I want you to say is 175 is where we break everything open. Actually, pretty close today. We're pretty close. So that could happen.
Yeah, 175. You said it.
Yep. So that's where we're going. The way this sucker is rocking out.
Yes.
So pretty exciting day. This angel mom, right, Kathy Hall. She's like somebody, ain't it like her daughter or her son? I'm not sure which was murdered by an illegal alien, and so she's there in supposed to be there in Washington D.C. Right? So she goes missing. Nobody can find her. She doesn't show up. They're taking her case before the Supreme Court. She doesn't show up. And this is directly connected with Michelle Walker. So, everybody had some different sources ping her phone. And her phone pings and shows up at the crematorium at the Air Force Base in Colorado. Now, Dan, let's just allow ourselves to consider this. What I'm about to share is a conspiracy theory. And I don't know this for a fact, but I do have pretty decent facts that I can consider, right? So if you were going to take somebody out, right, you could, they could go, oh, and then allegedly somebody else came forward and said, oh, she's okay. I contacted her like, via text. And I talked to somebody else who spoke to her. Now think about it. She's at the crematorium when she's supposed to be in Washington, D.C., right? So is it possible they could have done something to her, taken her out, because she has evidence that relates back to the Linda Collins Smith case, where the whole circuit of the child trafficking, because her child was taken and given to an executive at Walmart. Right, if you can imagine that. And she has other evidence to support the whole Child Protective Services massive network of child trafficking and how it's being used to steal our children, right? So she's someone they probably want to take out. Is basically what I gather. So this guy says, "Oh no, she's okay. She's safe. I her," and then he goes, my friends actually heard, or somebody I spoke to actually heard her voice. So he probably texted back and forth with her, right?
Uh-oh. Frozen. Tank. Come in, Tank. Space Command to Galactic Unicorn. Come in, Galactic Unicorn. Let's see what's going on here.
But if I had your phone, am I looking like this? Hello.
Hey, you were gone for a good minute. Your video is frozen.
Still got.
Your video's frozen.
Yeah. I went into a galactic portal.
Well, I said, Space Command to Galactic Unicorn. Come in, Galactic Unicorn. Gone again. Hey, turn off your video. Yeah, this is a particular subject they don't want to talk about, isn't it? Hello? Hey.
So we're frozen up.
Yeah. So you got some other ringing going on there.
That's you calling.
Oh.
My computer doesn't really. I already picked it up.
I got it. Well,
So,
I think we can.
Are you still broadcasting?
Yeah, we're still broadcasting. What I'll do is I'll just.
Yeah, they've been trying to block me. Blocked anywhere they can, So I guess this is the latest. We're just ringing still forever as far as. I don't know why. I'm hard lighting
Let's see if I can. I'll rig up a way to post this phone up at a level that will get the audio connected correctly. Yeah. Emergency boxes sitting here ready to go.
So it's always awesome, like whenever I get thrown, and it's just like slothing with things. My face, oh, like, hey, you guys. Everything. Sort of like they calls me at like a cool moment, like, oh, it's cooler. No,
No, not this time.
no, no way. That's great.
Okay. There we go. It's me and you.
Just you and me and everybody who happens to be listening, broadcasting live right now.
Yeah, we're still live. Of course, it says you're live
Cool.
on Facebook, but no, you're not.
It says I'm live on Facebook, but it's not. It's like super slow-mo on Facebook.
Yeah. Let's switch into
All makes
battle
sense.
mode here. I switched my background.
Galactic Pop.
We got paratroopers dropping in on them. So you were saying that she has evidence to present, and that's when you got cut off.
Right. So Kathy Hall is a key individual in the whole unraveling of child protective services and the corruption behind it. And we know this guy says she's safe and she's there in Washington D.C., but we pinged her phone and she's not. Actually, according to her phone, it's in like Colorado at the crematorium, which is a strange place to be on your way to Washington D.C.
Right.
So a lot of questionable stuff there, and then we still haven't actually confirmed it or heard her voice. But Michelle Walker, I'm expecting to go live with her later tonight. She should have an update. But they obviously are trying to stop our live feed as we speak. So it goes that way. So that was been a very interesting development today. And yeah. So what else happened today?
Well, we'll keep pushing, keep making our positions. Thank you for all you're doing to get help those people get that information together. It's great that you were able to ping her phone and say, "Hey, what are you doing over there in Colorado in the crematorium?"
Yeah, there's I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Yeah, there's lots of ways to check on these things. So we we got to find a way to break through this stuff. It's kind of a nuisance at this point, in my opinion. It's just ridiculous. Anybody with any kind of common sense, that they could just take a step back from their very limited position and look at what's happening in the overall scope, everybody supporting the RV would step back. They just step back. They'd say, wait a minute, this is ridiculous, and I'm not helping anything. I'm hurting it, actually, And especially people who are like in that middle management, but they think they're at the top. You're not at the top. Like, you're just middle management for somebody, and you're being deceived. Even the other side, the bad guys. It's like you're really not serving anything, and there's no way for you to win. It's like the same system that the previous leadership used that made you think they were gods because they had everything, they could do anything. That's what Kim controls. It's like she's for people, and she's for.
Yeah, if they were really smart, if they were smart, they'd assess what's going on and realize they're on a sinking ship, and the life preservers are quickly disappearing, and they should jump off the ship and start swimming for shore because they're going down. They just are not smart. And so Q says many times, these people are really stupid. And they are. They cannot think for themselves. Yeah,
which, that's why I went through this article written by the Daily Beast the other day. And I really had to laugh at how profoundly ignorant, how arrogant it was. Because they just proceed to just name call, right? And it's like, if you just keep making fun of people, we're prone. I realize there's three things that get us, and they're all pretty much the same thing. But it's guilt, shame, and embarrassment. And when you put those three things together, like, you can take down almost anyone, right? And this is it's like the lowest vibration, lowest frequency, anything, right? Like you never want to take your child and motivate them to do something by any of those things, right? You don't do it because they're guilty, or they're ashamed, or they're embarrassed. Terrible, right? Just low vibration. And that's what they use all the time. So they say things to make you feel like you're stupid because they'll reference things in a way that doesn't make sense. And because they just called you stupid 20 minutes before that, and you don't understand what they mean, you start to think, maybe because I'm stupid, I don't understand it. But in reality, it's because they didn't use things in a proper context, or, it just makes you feel like you're losing your mind. And that's how they change the language, too. It's just a mind control tactic. But they think they're so clever because they know how to use the same exact tactic over and over and over again.
Right. Well, it's a habit at this point, right? They really they're in the box, right? They don't see how to get out of the box. They only know the box. It is their reality, and they can't see, that there is another reality that is formed that they're not part of, right? And they just miss it because they can't open their eyes. And this is you just see how things are unrolling. This stuff that's come out right with the CEO of Overstock.com. He's resigned.
Yeah,
he started
that's
talking
great.
about well, yeah. And my initial reaction to this was, listen, I don't doubt this guy himself is a good guy. Right? But when he said, as part of this this rollout of information, that Hillary Clinton was being spied on too, my flags went up. There is something not quite right with that. Now, he may believe this, and I tend to believe that he's being truthful about what he's saying, but whether he's manipulated to provide the optics, that Hillary was part of this, oh, poor Hillary, she's part of it too. They're all coming out against all of it. It's all the bad deep state. The deep state's bad, right? And he had a great, way of laying this out, right? That said that the deep state is like a submarine off the shore, right? And they're at periscope depth, right? And they're peering out, and they're trying to, position things to make things go their way. But I don't in no way believe that Hillary was spied on, by this Russian spy scenario that this tainted woman. Now, X-22 report, they said that, look at the optics, it's really, can you believe that Hillary was actually spied upon? No, this was a cover-up. But, he may believe that Hillary was, just in the same boat as Trump and Ted Cruz.
Well, actually, I have another theory on that.
Okay. Good.
So, I think, not to say he's good or bad. I don't have enough.
Oh, your video feed is back?
Well, I'm away from the channel now, so I'll go back there in a minute.
Okay. It's okay.
So, I just was trying to figure. I try to get away from it to make it harder for them to track me down. So my theory on this, right, is that you basically have I don't think anyone really has a problem with spy organizations, our agencies spying on anybody. If you told me the FBI was spying on people across the street and thought they were terrorists, right? I wouldn't care, right? Even though they might violate it, right? If I found out they were terrorists, it wouldn't matter. So that's going to be the next argument. It's like, well, they were spying on him because he's corrupt, is what they're going to try to justify around. So now, if you bring in Hillary Clinton, it's like, well, they were both spied on. And 7 investigations later, Donald Trump, they have nothing on him, right? Well, what about Hillary Clinton? Because now you can say, if you apply the same standard, right? Because if they would have found something that you would have heard about, so why not apply the same standard to Hillary Clinton? Because if you were spying on them, then you have to conclude based on video footage that was hidden on Wiener's laptop of live footage of Hillary Clinton filleting a little girl and sodomizing her, raping her, drinking her blood, and killing her, and torturing her. Right? That's on that laptop. That is a fact. That is real documentation. That is not fake footage. That's real footage, right? So, couldn't you? I mean, and Wiener's laptop's already been brought in to be used as evidence in the Nexium trial to convict the cult leader of Nexium. So, really, I think that's part of it'd be brought up. Like, well, you brought in all this spied evidence. There's a standard now you operate by, right? Because if they defend themselves against Trump, and they also spied on Hillary Clinton, and they, say, okay, we're going to allow it, right? No one's going to get convicted, and all that evidence that you gathered against Trump, well, it basically concluded nothing, right? But now, any evidence you gathered about Hillary Clinton, that's all in play as well. It would have to be, in my opinion. Yeah. And then but I still think they'll be held accountable for conspiracy, and actually acts of treason, because they were conspiring to take down a sitting president, which, if you conspire against the president, that is an act of treason.
Yes. They've done both treason and sedition. So everything they're going to be going down. I'm hoping it's right now. As I said, August is the hot month, so it's been pretty hot so far. But we want to see the actual things, where they're being picked up. We haven't seen the D class happen yet. Dan class is gone, but what's gonna be these next points to make them come through. Well, anyway, this is an interesting development with Burns, having him come out and tell this story right now. I don't know, because his rabbi, as he called it, was Warren Buffett, and telling him taking his advice on what to do, as another suspect channel. So,
well, you know what though? You got to think Warren Buffett's probably had access to all types of high-end meetings, right? Warren Buffett's had, he's in his old age, right? He can do whatever the hell he wants at this point, right?
Right.
He's not bound by anything, and there is something here of a reckoning and a repentance probably taking place. You would expect somebody on that level, if they think about it, they all worship like Anu and Marduk, right? They all worship him. Now, when you realize they're dead, because most recently, right now, this just happened like last week, and I don't have exactly how this played out, but like last week they had this big meeting in London, right? Like this big annual meeting, big cabal to pass, right? And they all get there and they're hanging out, doing whatever cabal things they're doing. And this is where they would get instructions from, on high, so to speak, right? From Marduk or whatever. And I guess the instructions came in and it wasn't what they thought. So I believe that has to do with there was a peace treaty signed, right? There with the other galactics. And some kind of action was taking place. I believe that some of the ones where they thought, the ones who created the actual biological weapons, they re-engineered them to basically attack only the DNA of this bloodline, right? Of the bloodline families, or at least their biological weapons now, through some means like that, it would destroy them, right? They'd be the ones killed off, right? So I'm sure there is some kind of message that came out, right? Because in all this chaos, as we're talking, even though we've been telling the story along the way, for the most part, they're unfazed because they're of the mind frame this is all part of their plan, right? Where they leak out little bits of information that are true, some are not, and there was always a master planner, but they have no plan. They have nobody planning for them anymore. So because of that, it's like even like with the Pentagon, this was they were basically looking at Kim as enemy number one, and basically plotting to was that trading system
Hello? My tank, you disappeared. You're very soft. Hello? 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 Well, same old, same old. Well, I still have him connected, but obviously it's not.
Ugh, so annoying.
Oh, I hear
I'm
you.
sorry.
It's okay.
All the time, every little thing. I don't know. What's the last thing you heard? I lost myself there for a minute.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're gone for a minute, so I heard.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
heard you.
So
It's like you were way, way, way off in the distance.
okay. So last week, whatever it was, like they had their big meeting, their big financial meeting in London, right? And allegedly, like they were supposed to receive some kind of instructions. They were expecting to be from like Anu or Marduk or whatever, right? And they when they came through, there was like a picture that was signed with all the galactic races on the planet, right? And they thought it was going to be information that supported them, but it wasn't, right? It was more like you've been found, you've been measured and weighed and found wanting kind of thing. I don't know what it was though. I don't know what the message was, but so that was part of it, that they keep looking to someone who's not there, something that's not there, who they worship as a god, and in its place is a human who's advocating for humans, who has control of everything they had control of, and is actually the one who took them out, right? So it's like it would seem like they realized the God you worship was not a god; it was a mortal being, and Kim proved that being was mortal, you know. So it's kind of like where it's at now. So it's like now is the time for humanity to kind of step up and realize everybody who's following that paradigm, well, the ones who control that, the only reason why you are not subject right now, like bowing to Kim, is because she's giving back to the people. She's letting people decide their own fate. To be honest, it's pathetic in a way because the decisions that were a lot of, not like us on this level per se, but on these, this middle management level that think they're so important, they keep making decisions to serve this old guard. And all they're doing is using the exact same tactics and techniques, which, are kind of like tried and true proven methods of, scam and discernment, scamming, domination and stuff like, but they're not going to work anymore because when, even if as people are just waking up and realizing that they're in control of the world they make, this is the most critical point. And, Thomas said this last night, and I couldn't agree more. This is the most important, like, transitional moment in the history of humankind. And a lot of us are asleep at the wheel, We don't realize it, or we wouldn't be talking about, next week I'll do this. Or the whole global financial system is on the verge of absolute collapse. And most people are still in the grind and the hustle, trying to figure out. It's like being on the Titanic and still arguing to try to get like a room, a master suite or something. It's like, what good does it do to have a master suite on a ship that's going down? Like, what are you doing? Like, what you need to focus on is your ability to swim in the boat and be freezing cold, or like to change it, So I'm just looking at all these factors, and they're intense right now. Everything's really intense. But yes, I'm excited to watch a new system rise up right now because that is what's happening.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
I think we're right there. I'm excited. So many things are just rolling. I'm glad I was able to get some sleep the last 2 days because I think this coming week is going to be pretty amazing. I'm just wondering. So when this meeting you're talking about, wouldn't Kim still be able to give them instructions?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, what it is there. Like, giving them instructions, like they're all slaves, right? So it's like one sure way to enslave people is to keep telling them what to do, right, and not letting them think for themselves. But Kim is really trying to restore, the power of human, opinion, will to create our own world, right? And she still gives them that choice, right? She continues to give them choices, and because they control this whole working infrastructure that's already out there, whether it's corrupt or not, she's already taken it over. She could have made their infrastructure work if they were cooperating with her, right? She could have. This is a Harriet Tubman kind of moment, right? I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if I only could have convinced them they were slaves. They don't believe they're slaves. They think they've been running the world but they're a slave to their desires. I spoke to this guy about the Saturn Matrix, right, which is another AI that was basically like they would have soul traps, right? So the AI would create a world where they could be whatever they wanted, like a version of heaven, right? But it was really like purgatory. And they would trap their souls, they'd put them in this purgatory, and while they were in purgatory, they could do whatever they want. But it was only based on a limited set of data points, right? They wouldn't do any soul development. It's like if they were into, I don't know, ice cream, like they have as much ice cream as they want, right? All the time. But then after you eat so much ice cream, then what, right? Then you're bored and you're losing your mind and doing horrible things. So you're actually making negative progress. And, you want to go back into a body, and they go back into a body, and now they're worse. Things like that. So it's like that's the kind of thing that they would create, right? It would be this limited concept of, of what humanity is, and then repeating it, and then giving them power to continue to create energy and loose, fear-based energy for the other side that powers everything else. So that's what they become experts in. But at this point, I don't even know how anybody can be afraid of them. I mean, it's a joke to me.
Yeah. Well, on this, just
it's like
you talked about the Saturn. What'd you call it? The Saturn. What's the AI there called? The Saturn
Matrix.
Saturn Matrix.
Yeah.
Okay. And your soul trap. So when you said that, I kind of manifested in thoughts that said a way out of the soul trap is a golden thread, and you follow the golden thread, and it becomes a golden rope. You go to follow the golden rope until it gets to a portal that leaves you out.
I love it. So anybody there in the, trapped in that
anyone trapped,
matrix,
grab the golden thread.
Grab the golden thread, right?
And follow it to
like the golden thread of reason. Just follow the train of thoughts. Yeah. So.
Hey,
yeah. So I mean,
Archbishop has joined us on our video.
I have to tell you, Dan, that your volume is very low by the group in question. So I signed on to let you know that your volume is very low.
I'm like 6 inches from the microphone. If I'm like this, speaking into the microphone.
Now you're at the same volume as Ted.
Yeah, well, I guess that might be because I have him very close. I could move him back further away.
Okay.
But that might be a way to do it.
No, I'm going to go to my mic, Dan. It's okay. Here, I'm about to go in.
Okay.
So I'll hang up. I'll come to the
All right. Anyway, he's going to transfer over. Well, thanks for telling me. Now I know it's kind of proportional to sound direction and closeness.
Nope. No problem.
Archbishop dropped off. And looks like tank is headed back.
And we're back.
There we go.
Oh my gosh, man. They're doing anything to it's nice. I appreciate that they value us that much now to mess with us.
Right. Yeah, they'll get with it. The people that are actually there sitting at the control stations. Oh, we got to control what they're doing.
I know.
Cause a delay. Push a delay button. Delay button. Delay button. delay.
It's just a bunch of kids playing video games. They don't even realize we're real. Like, suppress the message. Tank's coming out. Suppress the message.
Yeah, you know, I can imagine the you know, the movie where, you know, we've got the kids playing the games, right, and they're really you know, doing the cabal's will, right? They're just playing the games. You know, they're the ones giving the instructions to the people out there, right? So you're playing like a Grand Theft Auto, right?
Exactly. It's like Ender's Game. You know, same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't look like they're powerful, but everybody thinks it's a game. But this is not a game right now. You know, you have the world on the verge of collapse, and it could be catastrophic, really. But you know, that's up to us, right? It's me and Dan. I'm just kidding. That's up to all of us. Like, we all get to decide what it's going to be, and we got to make decisions that are in line with what we want the world to be, not just, you know, what it's been. And that's the whole idea of kind of surrendering to the sovereignty of human imagination, right? That, you know, you're entertaining the freedom of your own thoughts to create the world exactly the way you want it with unlimited possibilities. But you have to start to think in unlimited terms, right? Of actually recognizing there's nothing that can't happen instantaneously, wherever, all over the world. In this moment right now, we can change everything just with the, you know, focused intention of, you know, manifesting our own abundance, right? Like, just by connecting to the feeling of that reality, that's possible. I mean, you have these examples all throughout the scriptures would happen. You know, this is what the Messiah was teaching, right? So anybody who's a Christian, if you actually look at the scriptures, you'll never see where he talks about how you need to serve me, you need to do this. Like, that's never in the scripture, right? He doesn't talk about us being a slave to him. He doesn't talk about being worshiping him. What he talks about is how greater things than these shall ye do. He talks about making us one with God the way he was one with God. Now, how was he one with God? Well, he was conscious of the God source energy alive in him, right? And with that, he was able to, you know, transmute and create amazing things wherever he was. That was the whole point, right? So I think that's what we should be focused on. Not so much the chaos and, you know, the nonsense that's here right now, but, you know, transition your focus into, you know, your reality. You know, I like the way, like, Abraham Hicks talks about it. It's like we want something else, and we keep asking for something else, but we haven't really put the pieces in place to make it. So we should really be focused on, okay, can I move to this next step where I'm completely free and independent, where I can create the world exactly the way I want? How much time do we spend thinking about that versus the time we spend thinking about what we don't have? You know, what isn't going right, you know? So, that's what I'm thinking.
Grab the golden thread.
The golden thread, exactly.
Oh.
And as you can see, this is intergalactic business we're doing now. This is where we're at now. Dan and I deal only in space.
That's it. It's looking pretty good. I like it. Yeah, it kind of almost merges together.
Almost, yeah, makes sense. I think I have something. Nah, it won't let me adjust my background. I'm amazed I'm actually still live on Facebook. So, you know, right now there's probably 7 people there that are really riveted by everything. I can't even, like, our Facebook page goes by Stan, right? And it's because our Josh Conway, who set up a Create Change South Carolina, you know, he had a following already, so like, here, we'll just set it up there. But I'm like, I can't even find it. When I go into my Facebook, I can't even find it. So I can imagine other people can't find it either.
Yeah, it's just yeah. Well, it's a total banning. The Facebook is. I don't deal with Facebook very much. I mean, I'll post some things there, but I know that it's not making it out. Yeah, I noticed when it just totally, because I'd always get responses, always. Anytime I post something, there would be, within an hour there'd be, a dozen, replies, comments, whatever. Nothing. There's nothing there. So it's a useless platform. It's just the only thing I say now is avoid Libra.
I'm very close to. I'm going to start going live on Twitch, right? Which is like a gaming platform. Because they never mess with the gamers, right? Because that's where you're building your cyber force of controllers, right? So, yeah, I'll just pretend like we're one of them. I'm going to start launching on Twitch.
Well, there's the whole next generation of boxes are coming out. The new Xbox, the new PlayStation. They're both coming out. And of course, both of these are Cabal platforms, right?
Yeah, they're training systems for, so they can wage war on other planets, right? And we have a very successful adaptive, like the last Starfighter, right? When they trained that guy to use the video game to, then everybody else died. He was the last one.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing, man. It's happening right here on the planet.
Well, it's just a tool for us to use.
Well, what's the saw this come out today. Like hit up there. This guy who he identified this enzyme GCMAF, right, which can basically, he's saying this is the most essential molecule in the body in the immune system, right? It will definitely right now. He's shown several times it can cure cancer, and also it probably can cure. It looks like it will cure Ebola, HIV, and actually reverse the effects of autism, right? So that's an incredible thing, right? Now he said after further research, he said, well, part of the problem there's this company, I think it's called nasal gene or something, right? Some element that's in the what's it called? Nazaline or something like that, right? I'll look it up. But anyways, this other element that's in all of the vaccines, which causes cancer, right? So it's an element that the vitamin B17 would break up, right? And if vitamin B17 would mix with the body, and it would mix with nagalene and create an arsenic that would break up the cancer, and then it would scatter back into regular form in the body. So that same element is being created and perpetuated in the vaccines. So MCGAF essentially will break that up and get rid of it in the body. So of course, everybody who talks about this has been killed off usually, right? This guy's been imprisoned. I guess he, for bringing this out. And, now this comes out that this connects directly to the actual vaccine. So what are they doing with the vaccines? Well, it's not a conspiracy, but it's fact, right? So the fact is there's an element in the vaccines which causes cancer. This is the eugenics ideal of controlling us from the cradle to the grave, right? So they can control whether or not we have kids by putting things in there to cause, to sterilize people, and then also cause cancer, so they can, with relatively accurate predictive analysis, figure out how long we're going to live. So then, based on that, you now have an asset that you can control from the beginning to the end of its lifespan, and you know exactly what you can get out of it, right? And you're basically dictating how smart it'll be and what it creates for you, and then you control the media. So that's the real product, right? That's traded intergalactically is loosh, right? They're trading fear, and humans are energy. So that's the reality of real galactic economics.
Yeah, we do have someone that popped on this on the line here with us. I don't know.
Well, let's see who that is.
Just a phone number, and they're calling in on the phone number, I think. Maybe they're just listening.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's all about it.
But maybe it's the controllers there that are there to push the delay button. They said, "Okay, we give up.
We give up. We're just gonna go listen." That last point was awesome. Let's find out what they're talking about. Yeah. No, that came out today, and then I'm watching all these different things unfold. We shot a little video. We've been working very, very hard to help the mothers here and fathers, really, all the kids. There are 26,000 parents that are basically unemployed, and they have to take their kids out of school because they don't want to submit to the vaccine. So, I proposed this to Kim. I'm like, Kim, we got to put something together to support them, because Ralph Fusatella explained in great detail how, the idea of informed consent is the defining issue of the 21st century. And that is the last standing thing that will actually help us get injunction to get rid of vaccines, at least to stop them from being imposed on people. Now, this is essential. People should be really talking about this more and more, but they're suppressing the message so much that it has to get out like old school, tacking the Declaration of Independence to people's door kind of thing. Because this message isn't out enough. Because people are they're looking at like, what do I do? I don't want to get vaccines yet, but they don't realize the urgency of it. Well, they're implanting things in our kids that are going to make them sick. That's a fact.
Right.
They're going to
Sterilize
affect
them.
them. They're going to cause autism. Fact. It's a fact. It's not speculation. It's not conspiracy theory. That is fact. But to be honest, I think we have all the things to counteract that. So I'm not as concerned about that. To me, it's a principle of if we submit to this, we are willfully giving up our rights again. We're submitting to a slavery system, and I just refuse to let that happen.
Right.
That's what I'm looking at.
Well, I refuse to have that happen. Yeah, and I was just thinking that when you want to go ahead and put the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights on people's doors, that it be reformatted and put into let's just say text that's much more legible.
Yes, we will. We will put it in a more modern font. I promise.
And that maybe space it out and put some header boxes around like the sections.
What would be the modern equivalent of that, you think? Would it be like everybody gets an email? Everybody gets a text message? Everybody gets a tweet? I mean, what would be the...
Well, I think you're correct putting it on the door. Mail would be the way to do it. Have people, going door to door, register to vote, voter ID. I think grassroots campaign, right? Classes, local classes on the block. Hey, Fred's house on Friday evening. We're going to meet and we're going to actually go over and first section of the Constitution. Every Friday.
There's some guy right now who's watching named Fred, and people are calling right now like, Fred, you're having a meeting at your house? Right now it's happening.
He's saying yes. Come on over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Going over to Fred's house.
Potluck. Bring some food.
Man, I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I loved potluck. I loved that,
Yeah.
Somebody bring potato salad, it'd be the best,
How did you make
Scalloped
that? How
potatoes?
did you make that? I put a little dill in it.
Right, nothing wrong with that. Just good old fashioned people talking, having good homemade food. Everybody brings the best. The best thing about a dish to pass is everybody brings the thing to make the best, right? I feel like that's a methodology to change the world, right? Look, we're all going to have a meeting. Everybody bring what you do the best, and we're all going to consume it together and figure out what the best process is. And I really think that's what Kim wants right now too. I mean, she's really been putting this out there, and I feel energetically that's what she's putting out is, we've had these plans in place with Create Change, and you've had plans in place. And there's another group out of Australia who's got an incredible plan. It's 365 Global, that's part of our extended network and the Creators Network. And there's other people that have plans to change the world, right? And to be honest, nobody wants all that pressure to do it themselves. It's something we've got. All the leaders have to step up and just be responsible for their field of creation, right? And the couple that started off great, but we need more and more people to stand up because that's how we overcome them. It's the only way. It's when everybody who's got something special to offer is like, I have it. I have something to give, right? And the more we all realize we all have something to give, the easier it is to stop people who have nothing to give. Tucker Carlson went in on Cuomo. So Tucker Carlson is my new favorite broadcaster, right? He went in on Andrew Cuomo saying have you ever wondered how this guy gets a job? Like, did he do this English? Like, he said it was the best. There's times where he has 30 minutes where he says absolutely nothing, whole paragraphs that don't make sense. He said like pig Latin or dogs barking. I was like, go ahead, Chuck. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I watched them on CNN with just on these clips, right, that people put together, and I said these are clowns. These are, well, we're literally, C_A clowns. They're are put there to best be entertaining, right? There's just Gloria Vanderbilt's son, Anderson Cooper, C_A asset, placed there for what reason? Control the narrative.
Right. You bring emphasis on things that don't matter. That's the key to the whole methodology.
Yeah.
For anybody who wants to unravel the matrix, okay, if they are talking about it, it doesn't matter. It is not important. So what you always have to ask yourself is, okay, if you're making such a big deal about this, what is it I should be paying attention to? Because I know that doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. So, I mean, that's like taught at Yale. Like, these are psyoptic, social engineering courses, right? How to control the way people think, the way they buy, right? All business schools, they teach this. How do you control everything from beginning to the end, right? Because if you have any variable, it disrupts the whole mechanism. So they don't want variables. That's why the market wants, they want volatility, but they want controlled volatility. They don't want anything, they want to create the fear so they can create the solution all the time, over and over again. That's all they do. So we've got to change that narrative, and by saying, well, the big way to do that is to use your own free will to create better ways of doing things. Don't expect things are going to go the way they've always gone. If we've always failed, if it's always gone wrong, well, why don't you create a new way? Now, if all you're doing is waiting for someone else, though, you can't change it. It's going to be the exact same thing. So, for example, if you're waiting for the RV to happen because someone else changed what they're doing, guess what? It's not going to happen. The RV is not going to happen. It's not going to come. The RV will never be here. It's not going to take place. It did not take place on Wednesday night, like Abel Danger said. Right now, even though Abel Danger has lots of information on random things that are interesting, there is no RV. No one's getting paid out in October. Not that way. The only way for real money to come into the system right now is you have to bring in real assets to be turned into cash. Well, there's one person on the planet who exists at the M1 level. So the most pressing question that everyone should be asking is, who's that person? And it's not the Chinese elders. It's not a Rothschild. It's no one who's been in banking, right? It's Kimberly Angonia, and she's over the Manna Holding Trust. And if people would realize that, matter of fact, one of our somebody who trashed me to Lisa said that Tank has a bad reputation in our world, which is like having a bad reputation in in the world of your friends who are playing Dungeons and Dragons in your parents' basement. Does it really affect your life? No, because you're not doing that anymore, right? Look, we all stopped doing the LARP. We're all out working jobs. Come out of your mom's basement. We all have to change. Right? So I don't care about that. But what was interesting is on her Facebook page, this guy had posted, and when he posted, he actually said outright that that he had listened to a 2-hour conversation with the administrator for the Manna Holding Trust, and that's where all the money was. Then, so he screenshot it. The next day, the same exact post, but it changed. They took that part out. So I'm not sure if he changed it or if Facebook modified it so they couldn't see it, right? Because they could do that and give you a deal, right? So, but that's how much I'm trying to keep it down. So, you know what? Share it with a friend. Go do your own broadcast. Tell everybody. At some point, when you realize, well, this is what really is. But even my friends, I laugh about this. I have friends here who have moved here to work with me on this, but because it's been such a hard journey, and it's so people are so critical of it. Like when I meet their friends, they give me a list of things like, "Look, don't talk about this, and don't say this because they don't know about all that. They're not awoken yet." And I'm like, "But you are." Obviously you're hiding too. I'm not hiding. I talk about this stuff freely wherever I go, right? Because this isn't myth or my crazy conspiracy.
This is not the time to hide. This is the time to be out in the spotlight, or with the sunlight. Be out in the sun, right? Showing everything that's going on and pointing at it, talking about it. Say, listen, that other stuff is all garbage. Let's move forward. Let's do the things that are correct. and stop hiding. Shh. No, not going to be quiet. This is the time to really get out there, and be on everybody's block, doing a block party, talking about this.
Conspiracy barbecues.
Yeah, there you go.
Rap sessions at Fred's house.
That's it.
Whatever it is. Ditch the past at the church to talk about conspiracy and how there's a lot of mistakes here in the fundamental Christian ideology. Let's change it. Let's go down to the mosque and have the same thing. Hey, listen, I don't think the best way to go is that we need to take up arms and kill everybody who doesn't see things the way we do. Because apparently God made them too. I didn't even know this, but they did. It's like, come on. Like this whole, every one of these concepts that goes back to hate, right? How we have to eliminate someone. It's not a God thing. God doesn't think that way. That's you and your, the version that you are currently.
No, my God thinks that way. You're wrong.
My God says I should destroy you for saying that. I cannot. That's the whole idea. It's like, we can change it. We can change it. Just whatever you're doing, reverse course. Look, you shouldn't be ashamed of this, right? Because this is the truth. What's actually embarrassing is that we were all part of the same lie. That's embarrassing. So the reality is, if you start talking about these things openly, you have your major skeptics who think that's ridiculous. But they're easy to change because they're resisting. So you can easily say, well, let's base everything you know and everything I know. And you'll notice everything you say will have evidence. Then you have the guys who do know. They know what you're saying is true. And all they do is cast shade and make fun, right? And then you know what I'm saying is true, right? You know it's true, and you're part of it. So you've benefited from it, so you've agreed to sign off on, these are secret things. You don't talk about these things. That's bullshit. You should talk about everything. If it's real, you shouldn't be, if it's something that's going to serve everyone and help everyone, the only reason to keep secrets is because you're keeping them, because you're going to keep that part to yourself. Because you think you're the answer.
So if you're part of the apparatus to keep the secrets,
right.
Censor, delay.
Yeah, like CIA talk, right? Like you talk to somebody from you talk to an agent ever, and you're on the phone with them. You can ask them the same question 3 times, give you 3 different answers, but they're counting on you to figure it out. And then they'll go, you know what I mean from the this. Well, yeah, of course, yeah, this. They'll never answer a whole question. Everything's like obscure references. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, and I get it. I get the CIA rap. I talk to enough of them to be like, but I wouldn't call them anymore. It's like, I'm just gonna call your superior who now speaks normal. So. Like all that stuff. It's like, it's useless. The whole, cloak and dagger stuff, and you guys think like you really mastered a plan there. You haven't. It sucks. It basically gets us all killed. It's led to the financial collapse of the entire world. All our resources would have been raped and taken.
Bravo, guys. You did a really good job.
Way to keep it secret. You are the intelligence agency, ironically labeled, and your job was to protect the people. But instead, you planned a mass genocide with a bunch of pedophiles that are actually reptilian dragons. Do you think maybe you took a left when you should go right? I'm just saying. Maybe it's time to come on back.
Yeah, it's not too late for most of you.
It is too late for most. But for the few of you that have,
Well, I'm considering, there's the 8,000, that are at the very top of this, the masters of the world, right? Sitting around with all of their servants and all the different things that they're doing there to, think that they're on top of the world. And then they have their, 150,000 just around them that are, their gophers. Maybe that group is too late. The other people are just like in a job slot somewhere, right? They have their employee handbook, and delay.
Yeah. Right. Don't let this happen. Block this. Don't take this out. Change the words on this. Change the tone here.
Yeah. Get on the Dank Live show.
Yeah. Right. Get on the Dank Live show. Listen for a little while. Jump off. Scare them. Say things that are ominous. Listen. If there's anybody on your feed right now, on your YouTube feed, that jumps on there and just says dumb things, they're a troll. Please delete them immediately. Like, they're not real. Just block them. Like, They're just a waste of space. They're looking for the low-hanging fruit, who they
Yeah.
can distract.
Actually, on that note, I'm kind of looking to see if there's any other questions or things in there. YouTube censored and immediately deleted your video that are 99%. They inserted some sort of bogus 404 error. Okay, that's all.
Oh no, not that. Not
Oh,
the
yes.
404.
They think I saw YouTube censored AD delete the video just about where the 99%. You made one that where the 99%. That video.
I didn't, but my team is like tenacious. They've been putting out stuff nonstop, so I'm not sure
Okay.
if they put out.
Well, they're obviously pushing some buttons here.
Well, that's okay, YouTube. Please continue to do exactly what you're doing because we are going to file an incredible lawsuit against you. And I just want you to know that we support exactly what you're doing. And please continue to build your platform because we're going to own it. So we appreciate you. We appreciate you.
they ain't being nice to Tank tonight.
They mean nice to think. Yeah. Don't worry about that. They can't stop my message. It's universal. It's all good.
Yeah.
We're winning. It just looks like we're losing. That's the illusion they created, right? So I'm sure when my voice goes out, they were manipulated my voice for a while. And one of the, I forget who told us this. Oh, it was Sherry Edwards was telling us how they manipulate Trump's voice so he doesn't resonate with people.
Really?
So so it activates, a resistance in them, right? So instead of resonating, it resists, right? And they make these little adjustments. So I actually saw that happen with my own. I saw my own, like, when they were constantly doing this. It didn't make sense. So, yep, very, very believable. Very believable. They're trying to stop the message any way they can. Don't let them do it, people. Don't let them do it. So,
Well, that's it.
I have a lot of exciting things going on. I really, I want to share everything. I might even put his phone number out for this guy who's got his super secret phone who, say he wanted to help humanity. So I feel like I'm going to tell every human to give him a call. Just be like, here's his number. Give him a call. He wants to help humanity. Now, he doesn't want to do it if it involves, bringing in assets into the world. But he might mow your lawn or maybe, he'll give your kids a ride to school. I'm not sure what he's going to do because right now he burned a bridge to actually bring the only real assets on the whole planet in, right? Because the whole system's been taken down to a base level. So the only way out is to come into this new system, which what I think would be ideal is if this new rail of transfer that Kim's created, if it's unaccessible to them and we just make so there's plenty of places to go with the money, right? So I can send money to you and it's still on that rail and everybody's else, then really it'd be pretty easy to cut out the bad guys, right? It's like having a train that's elevated like 500 feet in the air, and you can see the train going over you. It comes in, people get off, they're happy, everything's magical, but you don't know how to get to the train. That's kind of what I picture happening with them right now, right? There's a way to get there, but they can't get there. So, and that's the way the system's set up right now in the whole banking world, because all the back support system, how they would transfer money behind, it is now destroyed. So they don't have their secret methods of moving money around.
Interesting.
It's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, let's next week will be interesting, to say the least. So.
Today, Dan, because the real banking world doesn't sleep on the weekends the way we do.
Okay. Well, yeah. So.
So I am.
I'm expecting the transfer to happen. Looking at my.
Me too.
Looking at my watch. Okay.
You transfer leadership from evil reptilian draconians to humans is what I'm actually expecting to happen.
I really want to see the movie, though, where Kim in this final battle with Marduk. I want to see the movie. I can't wait for that to come out. What does it look like?
Yeah, I would like to see that as well. I do have a couple. I have a very successful friend in London who actually approached me about doing that, like how to do it. But I don't think Kim would ever. She'd never sign off on that exact. She'd like to keep it abstract. She's very.
Well, after we're all like everything has proceeded, and 10 years later we're down the line. I said, okay, let's paint the history, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Something like that.
Pretty cool.
Right now, I don't want to go into the movie production business. I do want to launch a television station where we always have a voice. The people
Yeah.
always have a voice. It's,
We have.
yeah, I mean, larger television station that isn't blockable. I want an unblockable television station that forces, not forces, but allows people to hear our message without being blocked by nonsense.
Right.
And then-
Stop the nonsense. I think it's just literally just get rid of all these filters and stuff and those people overseers that they're putting in place. It's the main way to move through this. And since all the intellectual property is owned by Michael McKibben and Leader Technologies, they should have the ability to go in and restructure those entities, remove all the engineers that are nuts about doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, here's the difference. To all you guys out there in the middle management world who think that you're a big time boss because you have some high end tech, or like you're a gatekeeper for a real inventor, which I think this guy might have been a gatekeeper, right? He was letting me know everything we do is super high tech. And we are so important all the time. You guys all say the same things. You all tell me how important you are. You're the tables. You're the top of the world. You're this guy. You have the most unhackable technology to ever exist. Your technology is 1,000 years behind the quantum system. Okay? Your technology is made by people. People are dramatically underdeveloped. That's done intentionally. Everything that you're doing has already been done. It's not new. It's not cutting edge. It might be very advanced by comparison to what's currently in place. But as far as being advanced technology, it's not. Right? There's technology right now within the quantum system that literally could turn the knob to a frequency, and everything on the planet will be turned to dust in a matter of seconds, just with a frequency. So, do you really think it's that impressive? You have an algorithm that changes every second. Big deal. You have an encrypted code that changes every second. You have no idea. Yes, we do. Everybody has an idea. It's the same thing that's been done by 1,000 other people, and forever.
Oh.
They're not original. These guys. Now, look, I don't want to insult those people. I'm sure you can make incredible ideas, but you're going to need real money. And everybody that you keep investing in and betting on, they are losing heroically. I mean, tragically, like epic failure, awful, losing. Every single thing they do right now is like an epic fail. They're not going to win. Even if you won, what would you win? The annihilation of humanity? It's a lose-lose. Just jump ship, or run into a helicopter propeller. I don't care, but just stop doing what you're doing. That doesn't serve it. All they can do is delay. It's like if your biggest accomplishment in life is that you delayed the transition and empowerment of humanity for 3 months, right? That's your big accomplishment. I mean, who are you going to tell, right?
Yeah, your grandchildren, right? And they'll say, "Why did you do that?"
And then if you fail, what's going to happen? They're going to kill your family, you. Then what? Well, what's your legacy then? Nothing? So, I don't know. I feel, let's go do great things together. Hey, we'll just pretend like that never happened. We'll just pretend like it never happened. Just ignore it that you chose the devil. You chose to annihilate humanity versus actually, no, I don't think so. Screw you guys. I don't even want to. Don't change. Keep doing what you're doing. It's awesome. Keep doing what you're doing.
The island awaits.
The island. So that's all I got, Dan.
That's good.
I think I'm gonna end up going live with Michelle here at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning for anybody who wants updates on Kathy Hall. We'll see what Michelle has to say. But other than that, I'm gonna.
All right, I'm going to check in on a couple of things to follow up, and I'll send you a text.
Okay, I'll be here. Everybody, have a great night, and that's all.
All right. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, positive comments. Trolls, no need. Just go away.
Hey, we like trolls. Don't be racist. All right, have a good night, everybody.
I'm racist against trolls.